Hutchinson Community College. What are boys made of? Snips and snails and puppy dog tails? That's what boys are made of. What are girls made of? Sugar and spice, everything nice? That's what girls are made of. This dichotomy fades as boys and girls become people, as society promotes. Lately there has been an argument that could possibly ruin this, and that is the recent theory that having single-sex schools will promote a more equal learning environment for all children and also to decrease discrimination. This may be true to an extent, but it's not entirely accurate. The separation would allow our society to become even more sexist than it is, and possibly even more than it ever has been. Most importantly, it would eliminate the social experiences that our children need to learn mature and correct intersex relationships. Many people believe that research done on the success of single-sex schools is greater than the success of co-ed. This may be true in some areas, but there are also many variables that are unaccounted for. One of these variables is the fact that many single-sex schools are privately funded and have the ability to have more creative and effective teaching methods. There's also the variable that many of these children who have the option to go to single-sex schools are often of a higher social standard and are usually more enthusiastic to and open to learning. These two variables create and these two variables create an incentive that raises students' grades and makes the schools appear more successful than schools that have unwilling and stubborn children. There are some statistics that show the success of single-sex schools are higher than in co-ed. But as I quote, the claim that boys did better in boys' schools because they better addressed boys' problems can't really be right, because girls also do better in all girls' schools too. So one cannot say that co-eds are biased against boys. And this is coming from single-sex versus co-ed, is one better than the other. Thus, the research of different development leading to the need to the separate education is true, but there are also many other separate variables that have led to the belief that children need single-sex schools to flourish. The most important flaw of single-sex schools is the inability of children to learn and create intersex relationships, both sexual and platonic. By age 2 and 3, kids begin to associate certain behaviors called gender roles with being male or female, and this comes from understanding early sexual development. And they will have only our corrupt media, indirect explanations from teachers and parents to develop these behaviors, which will most likely result in very inappropriate behavior and sexism. It is true that children will interact outside the school, usually unmonitored and focused on their own hormonal teen responses, enhanced by the careless media. Outside the school encounters will also be ineffective in teaching how to interact in a professional environment, leading to increased sexual harassment in the workplace and in public. This will drastically decrease our sense of equality and destroy the work people like Amelia Earhart, Molly Pitcher, and other historical figures have fought to create. And in conclusion, the effectiveness of all-girl and all-boys schools has been highly misconstrued in research and has very drastic implications on the interaction and understanding of children. And interaction with children have with the other sex. It is true that some disadvantages are created in co-ed schools, which could be easily fixed by having some separated classes. This option would give them the learning advantages parents are looking for, and still allow the children to interact on a social aspect with the other sex. Another option is that we could make an example of other countries who give all families the option to send their children to either co-ed schools or single-sex schools. These countries have eliminated almost all sex-related disadvantages, and children get education according to their abilities and willingness to learn. This is from the article "Single-Sex Schooling Studied." This should make people question the effectiveness of either schooling and either type of school, and try to give kids an option that would let them experience schooling in the way that could be beneficial to the individual child and not just the whole of the school. Thank you.